Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of the Blue Bridge. This is my second upload for today, and it's going to be a rant about refereeing and VAR. So guys, it's official. Anthony Taylor, Mike Dean officially came out and said that, well, Mike Dean officially came out and said he's a corrupt referee, and he's an arrogant he was an arrogant referee, and he made a lot of errors. Why? To protect a mate, or because it was one of another team, maybe to protect a mate and to screw Chelsea and in the process as well. So he was on a show the other day, and these are the remarkable comments that this guy had the audacity to make. He says, I missed this. This is in regards to the incident a couple of years ago. Remember when Chelsea played against Tottenham Hotspurs? Chelsea were 2-1 up with going into the last few minutes of the game. Tottenham Hotspurs get a corner. Perisic, I think, gets a corner in. Then you've got Romero, the Argentinian guy. He pulls the hair off Cucurella, and inexplicitly, it goes on unpunished. Okay, Anthony Taylor, he may not have seen it because obviously he's concentrating on other parts of the game. But then VAR, it went up to the VAR, and VAR did not see anything wrong with it. But they did actually see something wrong with it. Well, this is a reason why Mike Dean said he didn't actually give it. Startling, amazing. He says, I missed the stupid hair pull at Chelsea versus Tottenham, which was pathetic from my point of view. I didn't want to send Anthony up because he is a mate as well as a referee, and I didn't want any more grief than he already had. What? You didn't want to send him to look at the incident because he's a mate, and you didn't want him to have any more grief. There's a football match going on, and it's a matter of either Chelsea getting 1 point or 3 points, and you're thinking about your mate, and protecting your mate. Where is the integrity of the game? It's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing, and to admit it as well. And I do like that he admitted actually, because I always said, later on down the years, there's going to be some transparency about some of the corruptness going on in football. And so this guy has admitted that he saw it, but because he wanted to protect his friend, he decided not to tell him to go to the monitor to review the situation. And the thing is, now that the FA have got this evidence, I think that Chelsea should demand £4 million, in compensation for this admission by Mike Dean. Why? Because had we got those 2 points, then we'd have finished 11th. I know it's embarrassing me saying that, but we'd have finished above Crystal Palace in the Premier League. And when you're looking at prize money, that's an extra 4 million. Okay, so I say only 4 million, but with Chelsea, financial fair play and everything else going on, 4 million is 4 million. So Chelsea are 4 million out of pocket because Mike Dean has admitted that he didn't want to put his mate in it anymore. And the reason why, I think it was a bit of a frosty game anyway. You saw it with and we had Antonio Conte and Thomas Tuchel going at it tooth and nail, and he didn't want to make the situation intensify the situation. So that's why. But that's not a good reason. You're there to make the right calls. That's your job. You don't think about, what if I do this, then I maybe do this, if I do that. No, you're there to referee the job and make the right calls. Okay, that is your job. Do it. And to make matters worse, it could have been even worse. Chelsea had a poor season last season, but can you imagine that we had an even worse season to what we had? And a lot of people were talking about Chelsea for relegation last season. I just think that was a load of nonsense. But imagine that we did have a couple of more defeats in the poor run, and that cost us those 2 points that we missed out on. got us relegated. Can you imagine the implications of that? Can you imagine we had a good season last season and those 2 points that we missed out on cost us Champions League football? And these are the fine margins. I know it happens for most clubs or whatever, but as I said, I'm using this incident because the referee has actually come out and admitted it. And that's the thing. And for me, VAR was brought in for this reason. And if it's still objective, what is the point of VAR if it's just still objective or people are not giving calls because they want to help out a mate? I think the solution around this, and I've been advocating this for ages, and I truly believe this is what should happen, is that we should get independent referees. Even if you don't get independent referees, people in the VAR box should be independent. There's many referees across the world. So for instance, if you have the English guy refereeing it, you have somebody from France, Spain, Germany or something, some of their referees, let them do the VAR. That way, you haven't got no friendships going on, whatever. So the calls that they're going to be making are going to be impartial. And that's the way to do it. Get those people into the VAR boxes. And so it's always a job for the boys. You're refereeing and you got somebody else in there who you're good friends with. You're always going to have situations like this, which is going to affect your impartiality. So by getting in someone neutral, that can alleviate all of these issues. I've been talking about refs for ages. People are saying it's just you just got blue tinted glasses on. There's no agenda. This guy has clearly proven that there is an agenda. And you also add the Mark Clattenburg, I think, was it Clattenburg? I think it was Clattenburg who refereed the game as Chelsea against Tottenham. Again, Tottenham's female, where the game where we stopped them from winning the league with the Eden Hazard equaliser in that 2-2 draw, the battle, the bridge we've done. And he said that he deliberately didn't send off a couple of Tottenham players. I can't remember what his excuse was now, but he said he should have sent them off, but he didn't. Again, what's all that about? If they're meant to be sent off, they're meant to be sent off. And he, he could have caused a major injury in that game as well. So when they are retiring and things, they're coming out with things like this. So there's got to be more transparency over refereeing, and the people need to, not only when they've retired, they should come out and explain some of the decisions, some of the calls, and they should be made accountable for these as well, because this cannot go on. And I'm hoping you got what's that guy's name? The one who supports Manchester United, the referee's in charge of the refereeing now. Name's just totally gone out of my head. But he said he wants to have a reform and have a look at it. And so looking at these statements now, if he wants a true reform, then please take on what I said. Please take what I said on board, and that's the sort of thing that we need to do if we want real, true reform. Because we're not going to get it if you're getting incompetent referees and incompetent VAR people. You're still going to get poor decisions made by these referees. So let me know what you think about the comments by Mike Dean. Just an egotistical referee, never liked Chelsea anyway. And what other suggestions? Do you agree with my suggestion? If not, what other suggestions do you think should be put in place which will make us, the refereeing, a bit more consistent and more honest in this country? Stick your comments in the section below. Don't forget, as always, to like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications to be notified every time I make a new video.